Welcome back. You're listening to the Flow Summer Sports Show here on Flow FM, and it's time to check in with Brenton Colmer, one of my regulars on the Flow Sports Hour, but he's joining us on the Friday Night Sports Show this week to talk about the latest in the world of dirt kart racing. Brenton, welcome. How are you?
Yeah, great, mate. How are you? Yeah, going really well.
Very good. Yeah, I'm well. Thank you. Always good to have you on Flow FM. Now let's talk about the weekend that was. We've got to cast our mind back nearly a full week to last weekend's events, but let's start out at Tatiara Dirt Kart Club. It was their last event before the Nationals. So how did that event go, and how are the preps going for Nationals?
Absolutely, mate. My nephew run down there on the weekend, and he did a reasonable job. Apparently all went well. Put on a great show. It was Saturday night under lights at Tatiara. They had a little bit of rain late in the evening, but got through all the racing, and the track is absolutely primo, and it was a solid hit out for all the people that wanted to have a last run at Tatiara prior to the national titles, which is next week, and we'll touch on that a bit later. But it was a fantastic run at Tatiara. It's an awesome place when it's under lights, and very, very fast at Tatiara. So I think they had about 180 go-karts there. So big show for their last run before the Nationals. So it's winding up really, really fast for the national title.
All right, good stuff at Tatiara. And like you said, we will come back to that at the end of our conversation. But before we get to that, we'll get through the rest of last weekend's events. And we're going over to Strathalbyn now. Angus Dirt Kart Club had their 125 Trophy Day.
Yeah, it went really well. I was talking to one of the members prior to the trophy presentation, but it all went very well. They had light rain all day on the Sunday, but the track was really good, stood up very well. And the 125s put on a great show for their trophy run for the year. And I'm led to believe that there was almost a track record broken down there with the 125s. So obviously very, very fast. So well done to Angus Dirt Kart Club at Strathalbyn and their 125 Trophy Day. But they had a great run with all classes. So well done to all with a little bit of weather kicking around.
All right, good stuff. Good to brave that little bit of weather that can, well, as we know, it can sort of ruin some club days and put a few spanners in the works, but good to see they braved it on this occasion. And looking more around the country now, we had some events in Western Australia and in the Northern Territory. Alice Springs, round 8 for double points.
Yeah, absolutely. They had, I think it was around 70 go-karts for the Alice Springs run for their round 8 double points. There's only one more to go with this because, like I said last week on the race wrap for Flow FM, that they're getting at the end of their season, obviously because of the weather up in the tropics in Alice Springs. So all went well, and there's one more round, and they're going to try and squeeze that in very, very soon before the weather and those clouds break and, start doing what the wet season does up there. But all went well, apparently. So well done to Alice Springs Dirt Kart Club.
Certainly going to be some hot weather coming in Alice Springs very, very soon. I'm not sure what the weather's doing right now in Alice Springs, but it's probably already very hot there. So, good to wrap that season up a little bit earlier with a hot summer approaching. Over to WA, Dirt Trackers was on Saturday night, and there was also an event at the Busselton Kart Club.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to one of the committee members at Dirt Trackers in Western Australia Saturday night, and they had a great run. Track was, we call it very hooky, which is it's a good thing because when it's hooky, it's it's got a lot of traction in it, and obviously our dirt kart tyres really hook into these dirt kart tracks. So there's a couple of good photos of one of the premium class in the Outlaw with. They're going around the pit corner and they've got the front wheels in the air by about probably a foot and a half off the ground. So very, very hooky, like I said, traction coming out of Busselton and Dirt Tractors Kart Club. They put on a great show at WA.
All right, let's look at this weekend's events, and we're back in South Australia, and it's a huge weekend of racing in South Australia. Let's start out in Renmark. The Renmark Dirt Kart Club have a points run, and that's running all weekend, Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Renmark Dirt Kart Club, they put on a great show. It's right alongside the Speedway, literally. So I think they've got a burnout competition this weekend as well at Renmark. So very, very busy in the Riverland District. Like I said, I've been to Renmark a lot of my driving career. It's a great track. And you come, it's a little bit of a fall. There's a fair bit of hill in the main straight. When you come down from the speedway into the pit area, you know you're living in a go-kart because it's a really good sensation coming down the hill in a dirt go-kart and then throwing it sideways and leaning on the steering stop. So, it's a great track, Renmark. I love running there anytime it serves. So I have a great run there.
And as we know, if you say it's a great track, well, then that is true because you're a bit of a guru at this sport and you've got a good trophy cabinet built up. But yes, so Renmark, looking forward to that one. Let's move to Roxby Downs. Desert Dirt Championships this weekend. That should be a really good event.
Yeah, it will be actually. They've got a Desert Dirt dirt kart club. I went up there and commentated the state title about 4 years ago now. A big lap at Roxby. I think the lap off the top of the head is like nearly just over 700 metres. It's a very big open track. It's very flowing, and you don't lift your foot much on the throttle there. And it's literally right alongside of the they call it Black Rock Racing Track. So Roxby Downs have got a good little motorsport complex there. And obviously all the mines up there throw a lot of money into it. So it's a big thing in Roxby. So they'll have a great show for their club championship at Roxby Downs.
Good to hear the community are getting behind it there. You said the mines are throwing money into it. So I imagine it's something that really brings the community together and you get a lot of the local residents and probably the FIFO workers as well getting in to watch the events.
Absolutely, mate. When I was there for the state titles, like I said, 4 years ago, the place was packed, and literally that's what it is. That they get a lot of fly workers. When they're up there, they rent houses through the mines, and on a Saturday afternoon, Roxby Downs, obviously, when they're not working, there's not much happening, so they get a good crowd out there, and it's a good community atmosphere, really good. A lot of the local industries get behind it as well. So, but the mines are the big ones. They throw like generators at them and stuff like that, keep it all powered up. So they, good community spirit up at Roxby Downs.
All right, great to hear that the Roxby community are getting behind it that heavily. Let's move to Adelaide now, and this is the big one, not because we prefer big cities over our regional events, but this is the big one because, Brenton, you're on the PA for this event at the Adelaide Dirt Kart Club, and there's going to be 131 karts in action. This one is shaping up to be a whopper.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one, mate. This one, it's just a club meeting, but when you say Adelaide, the metro track, you can't say it's just a club meeting. It's going to be a cracker. There's 131 dirt karts nominated for this Saturday afternoon under lights. So, if you want to come out and have a look at the Metro Club, it's just in the corner of the old Speedway Park facility there at Virginia, and it's a great club, great canteen, great family atmosphere. They've actually got a little playground there for the children right alongside the grandstand. So mum and dad and the caregivers can sit in the grandstand and watch go-kart racing. And the kids literally go on the playground and sit there and, do what kids do in a playground. So it's a great club atmosphere. Yeah, I'm on the PA for this. I'm looking forward to this for tomorrow. And, it's going to be a great show.
Always a good show when you're on the PA, and always a good show when there's 131 karts in action. So that's going to be a bumper event. And I imagine there are a few people travelling to get to that one. Yeah,
there is actually, mate. So there'll be a lot of people coming from the Riverland area. Renmark people will be hanging around for obviously their run up there. But there'll be a fair few people starting to kick around for that because there's a few national title people coming from Western Australia and Northern Territory, Alice Springs, Darwin, Queensland. So there's a lot of people travelling for the national title. So there's a few of the guys and girls running there prior to the national title.
All right, very, very good card of events on in the world of dirt kart racing this weekend. Brenton, just before we wrap up, let's have a very, very quick look ahead to next weekend in Tatiara. It's the national titles.
Absolutely, mate. And, like I said, we'll be leaving Wednesday and going down there, staying in a beautiful bed and breakfast. And I'll be on the inner pit area with a mobile cameraman. And I'm doing actually a little bit of a tech hub where I can talk about the parts on the go-kart, that's motors and brands and tyres and how we change things up on go-karts. And, I can explain it on live streaming. And then there's another couple of guys doing commentating, but, see how they go. But, I'm looking forward to this one. There's 497 go-karts that are going to be racing at Tatiara next weekend. And, it's going to be a huge one. So, when I do my rap for Flow FM, there might be a bit of noise behind me, but I'll still get on the phone. And, there's good coverage down there, so we can still do the cross. But looking forward to this one from all over Australia. Like I said, Queensland, Darwin, Northern Territory, Western Australia, Alice Springs, all of South Australia. So, I'll touch on that next week. But, it's going to be fast. And Tatiara is huge. And like I said last week, Dream Multimedia are going to be live streaming. So any of the listeners out there that want to have a look at dirt go-kart racing, it's free. Just go on the Tatiara Kart Club website or Dream Multimedia, and we'll be live streaming the whole event from, I think it's Thursday afternoon next week, right through till possibly Monday, depending on what happens with the racing and the drivers and the weather. If you can understand, there's a lot of drivers have been getting the race place on for a national title, so who knows what's going to happen on track.
Gee whiz, I thought 131 karts at Adelaide was a big event, but that is nothing compared to what will be happening at Tatiara next weekend. But we will discuss that a little bit more next week. Brenton, good luck on the PA this weekend, and good luck to everyone involved in those events this weekend. It's going to be a very, very good weekend of racing. Thanks for checking in, Brenton. Looking forward to catching up next week with all that stuff that you've got going on. It's going to be a very good one.
Yeah, cheers, Dan. Thank you very much. And once again, like I always say, thanks, Flow FM, for letting me get on board and, get our sport out there to, for the people, the listeners out there, if you're interested. Like I said, we'll, be live streaming next weekend, but we'll get right into that next weekend. So stay safe, everyone. And once again, thank you to Flow FM.